Yo, Lloyd Ruhl, aka MegaBlitzz. In today's video, we're going to be looking at all the decks that have made day 2 at a bunch of different events over the weekend. Special event Gowensburg, Philippine Championships 2024, and Regional Los Angeles as well. And I'm really excited to look at all these different decks and see what kind of crazy things people cooked up. I have not looked at any of the decks from any of these events, so we're kind of going into this together blind, so I'm really excited. So let's jump right into it. Alrighty, here we are at special event Gowensburg or Johannesburg. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but we got a bunch of Charizard in the top 8 here. So we got 4 decks playing Charizard. First place here we got basically Charizard with the Regieleki package to be able to use a electromagnetic sonar, so you can put a training card from your discard pile into your hand, which is really nice because you're able to, you know, sonar, put something back into your hand, and then usually end up grabbing something like Erie or Boss or Iona or something, which can be really nice. You don't have to Palpad Quick Search to be able to do it. You usually can just sonar, put something back into your hand, and then kind of go that way, which is really nice. A lot of people have been playing the Regieleki in the deck here to not only be able to help in a lot of different matchups like Lost Box and things like that, so you can put your Erie back into your hand and try to discard some Super Rods or some Mirage Gates or something, but it also helps the control matchup a lot, and Charizard tends to struggle with the control matchup. So get Charizard here first place. Second place, basically the exact same deck. I think it actually is the exact same 60. And third place, not playing the Regieleki package, kind of just doing the stereotypical Tord Zard, playing the 2-2 line of Pidgeot EX and the 1-1 line of Bidoof Barrel, of course playing Cleffa and Rotom and such. And then for all the different trainers in here, we got, you know, Vacuum, Prime Catcher, which seems to be the kind of A-spec of choice. I've been seeing some people play like Hero's Cape, and I've been seeing people play like Maximum Belt, but Prime Catcher just seems to be the best A-spec to play in Charizard as well. A lot of us thought that Maximum Belt was going to be the better one, and then everyone's like, no, Hero's Cape, because 430 HP Charizard is really good, which it is. Just at a cup, just this last weekend, that I made top 4 in, I had to deal with a Charizard with Hero's Cape on it with my Cincino, and it was not a great time. So, Prime Catcher being in here makes a lot of sense as well. And then, of course, we got Chien-Pao Baxcalibur here. This one playing the Pidgeot EX package, which I definitely did not expect to see. I kind of always wrote off the Chien-Pao Pidgeot deck as just something that wasn't good, wasn't worth the time. I'd rather just play the Bib version. But this person had taken, you know, Chien-Pao with Pidgeot and did pretty well with it, so very nicely done. Other than that, nothing too crazy. The trainers look very similar to everything else. Maybe like a third Pokestop is something that we could see a little bit different. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Getting a little bold with the 360 HP Frigirbacks. I think maybe playing 170 HP Frigirbacks might be worth it. Especially with like Dragapult and such coming out. Definitely more so now. Or more so later than now, but you can get Lost Mine pretty bad, and that can feel not so great, giving them 2 prizes and then losing your Super Cold ability, which feels kind of gross. But Minior as well, probably to help deal with the stall matchup. Chien-Pao definitely has a hard time into control and such, but there's like no control in the top 8 at special events. So we got Arctina here, nothing too crazy except 2 Iron Leaves. Relicamp's a little crazy to be able to like shred into, you know, control variants or stall variants or whatever, which makes sense. That's usually how that matchup goes whenever you're playing Arctina or Lostina. You're just tread, and that's all you're trying to do. So, pretty cool to see that there. We got Lost Box. Nothing crazy going on. Pretty much the standard we've been seeing, you know, even like right down to the support. I guess maybe the only thing is people are playing for Sealstone. In the chance that you don't want to start Requiem. I'd rather just start Requiem. Honestly, like, I know Mist Energy's going around and stuff, but you can, like, Temple of Sinnoh and then Requiem it and stuff, and then you don't... It all kind of works out. I'd just rather cut the Forest Sealstone for something like another Super Rod, or maybe a second Boss, or maybe a second Counter Catcher or something. Even 2 Temple of Sinnoh, I feel like, is more beneficial than playing 1 Forest Sealstone. Maybe that's just me, though. I haven't played Lostina in a hot bit. We got another Charizard Pidgeot here. Pretty much just basic, same thing we had seen earlier with the Barrow, no Regieleki, and we got Gardevoir here, which, like I said, nothing too crazy. The only thing is Luxurious Cape made its way back into Gardevoir again. A lot of people are playing 2 Bravery Charm, no Luxurious Cape, but now people seem to be playing 1 Luxurious Cape and 1 Bravery Charm. So let's go into the Philippine Championships. We got the top 16 decks here. We got Charizard, Pidgeot winning it all, which no one is shocked. So, got basically another standard Charizard here. We got the 1/1 Bidoof Barrow, so not going to spend any time on that. Got another Lost Tina here. Once again, playing Artisan in this deck, which is pretty cool. Artisan's another card that I would not mind putting in this deck. Once again, playing Forest Sealstone. I don't really feel the need for Forest Sealstone. I get it. I understand why people are playing it. It's just, I'd rather just Requiem something, right? Like, even if you Requiem a single prizer, I'd rather just Requiem than Forest Sealstone, personally. Because Lost Tina, you're going through your deck so much, and you're, like, chorusing, and you're flower selecting, and you're, concealed cards and such. You're drawing so many cards and looking at so many things that playing Forest Sealstone just doesn't make sense to me. It does if you're playing the no water energy Banette version, then you play Forest Sealstone, I feel like. But if you're not playing the Banette package, then don't even worry about it. We got our first Dialga deck here. Nothing too crazy. This one seems to be very similar to Andrew Hedrick's winning list from Indianapolis. I think it's actually the exact same 60. So pretty cool there. Seeing Dialga still perform well. We got back-to-back Gardevoir decks here. This one playing Ancient Booster Energy Capsule to be able to put it onto the Flutter Mane. I actually really like that. I think that's really innovative. Once again, Luxurious Cape making its way back in here. Not shocked, but also would rather just play a second Bravery Charm, but I understand why Luxurious Cape's in the deck. So I kind of see it both ways. Gardevoir is one of those decks where I've been trying to play it and trying to get a better understanding of how the deck functions and works. It just doesn't... The new Gardevoir doesn't feel the same as old Gardevoir does, and it's kind of not as entertaining to me. This one as well, playing, 2 TM Evos. Here's Cape, Luxurious Cape. So very similar to the one we had seen first, the first Gardevoir deck we had seen. I'm really excited for the Monkey Dory version as well of Gardevoir. I was playing that a little bit last night, and it was pretty fun. And then we got Lost Zone Box. This is like the Toolbox, Paradox, and Friends version with Roaring Moon and Iron Hands and Raikou and Iron Bundle and such. This deck's really fun. I'm not shocked to see this deck doing well. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This deck is really, really good if it's in the right hands. If someone knows how to play this deck very well, very efficiently, and very fast, they're going to do well. If you put this if you put this deck into someone who doesn't play it all that often, they're going to really struggle because there's a lot of game actions you have to take. You have to manage multiple different energy colors and energy types, and you only have very limited resources to each of those. So, very cool to see Lost Box doing well. Got another Charizard deck here. Nothing too crazy going on there. We got Ancient Box. Now, Ancient Box, I've been a little bit more of a believer in Ancient Box. The only problem Ancient Box has is it has a really hard time into Charizard. But people are playing the Cobalion to be able to kind of help with that. And I know exactly what that feels like when I played Single Strike Lugia. You had to play Cobalion to be able to get the Charizard, and that's just what it was, and it felt pretty bad. However, like I said, you could do it, which was very nice. So, pretty cool seeing Ancient Box doing well. We got Chen Pao back Excalibur. This one playing the Bib version here. 2 Pokestop. Maybe this is like the version everyone's playing, like 2 Pokestop, 1 Silene or something. I'd rather just cut the Silene for a 3rd Pokestop, personally, because the moment Silene hits Double Tails, it just feels so bad. It does not feel good. I'd rather, even play Palpad over Silene, right? Like, play Palpad, and then you can, at least put, Iridos and Cyphermaniac's Code Breakings back into the deck. Or, let's say, Silene whiffs, and you have Palpad, maybe cut, I don't know, go to, 3 candy, cut a candy for a Palpad, so if Silene whiffs, you can just Palpad Silene back in the deck. I think it would also be pretty cool. We got Charizard here. Now, this is just being straight Bibzard. Now, kind of shocked to see that happen. Bibzard isn't really the go-to version for Charizard. It's kind of more of a hybrid Charizard deck now, playing Bidoof and Barrow and the Pidgeot. But this one just going straight for Bibzard here. So pretty cool to see that as well. And then, of course, we got another Chien-Pao deck. Got another Charizard Pidgeot. This one not playing the Regieleki. Also not playing the Regieleki, but playing Delphox in the deck, which I think is really cool. Another Charizard deck. This one playing Incineroar EX. Now, I had heard that this happened and everybody was like, wow, why are you playing Incineroar? Incineroar is a good Pokemon. With his ability Hustle Play, attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 less for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So, effectively, you can do 240 damage, make the Pokemon burn for 1 energy on a 320 HP Pokemon. That's pretty good for one fire energy, and you get some special conditions rolling on in there, which is pretty good. So I wasn't too shocked to see Incineroar in here. They cut the Bidoof Babero package and a couple other cards to make this happen, going to less Charizards, going to like 3 Charmander, 1 Melian, 2 Charizard EX, 2 Litten, 1 Torracat, 2 Incineroar EX, 2 Pidgey, 1 Pidgeotto, 2 Pidgeot, and they're trying to TM Evo into some of them, or trying to stop themselves from Technical Machine de-evolution by playing the Torracat, the Charmeleon, and the Pidgeotto as well. And then, of course, you have the Relicanth in here as well, so then you'll be able to, you know, use like Gritty Claws or something, or on your Incineroar, or maybe even be able to do something like that. Is the only reason I can see the Relicanth in the deck, because Torracat, its attack Gritty Claws says, during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon has full HP. It will be knocked out by damage from an attack. It is not knocked out, and its remaining HP becomes 10. So I could kind of see that maybe making sense and seeing it kind of fit in the deck. But other than that, maybe so they can like call for family or something is maybe something you could do as well. Maybe if Incineroar gets a bunch of damage counters on it, you can, you know, Repurzel. And the set does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Not too sure why the Relicanth's in there, but those are the only reasons I could see it being in there. So pretty cool. Another Lost Zone toolbox deck. This one playing the Hoopa. I think Hoopa's a great attacker. In this deck, it helps with your Lugia matchup insanely, so much. So it definitely makes sense to see the Hoopa in there. Going into Regional Los Angeles here. Lucas Zing winging it all. Winging it all. With Pidgeot Control. Now, I was really rooting for Brandon to win because, well, I've been playing Lugia a ton, and Lugia's kind of my go-to deck lately. So I was really hoping that Lugia would pull it through and finally get its big win that it's been kind of missing. But we had, you know, 2 in top 8, 1 bubble right out of top 8, so can't complain too much with that. But anyway, got the Pidgeot Control here. Not playing the tough control or anything, just trying to play even the like 1/1 Charizard EX, which I thought was really cool, really opening up that element to be able to take some damage and stuff. Playing like Turo Scenario would something be really cool in this deck as well that I would like to see, because then you could Turo pick up the Charizard EX, evolve again, Infernal Rain, and then be able to power up things like your Entei or your Chi-Yu or something like that to be able to do extra attacks. So I would love to see Turo in here. Thornton also kind of makes sense. You can evolve into the Charizard, then Thornton swap it out for something else, which also would make sense as well. But yeah, I like this deck a lot. I like the Mawile. I like how Sandshrew is being played again in the decks. Regieleki makes sense. All this stuff makes sense. It's just your stereotypical control deck without the tough. Just playing tons of 1-ofs in the deck here. Hero's Cape to make things really hard, so you have 430 HP Charizard, you know, a 380 HP Pidgeot EX, making Chi-Yu really bulky, you know. Stuff like that is really cool. And glad to see that Pidgeot Control is still doing well. Then, of course, we got our Lugia deck here. Everything's kind of standard to every Lugia deck except a couple things. Playing Mew EX is something that some people are doing, some people are not. I have not been playing Mew EX in my deck, just because my local meta doesn't really need it, I would per se. There's a lot of Zard and stuff going on, so I'd rather just try to power up Cinccino's and just try to make prizes on a little awkward for them. And then, of course, as well, playing 1 copies of Morty's Conviction. I like Morty's Conviction in this deck, but I feel like just playing 1 is a little interesting. I'm not opposed to it. I haven't really tried just 1. I did the other deck that was like Lugia a while ago, where it played like I think 3 or 4 Morty's Conviction. But I would like to try this for sure. I like Prime Catcher in the deck. I've been playing a lot more Lugia lately without Master Ball and playing Prime Catcher, which feels really good as well. So very nicely done here with this pretty, just kind of somewhat interesting, but nothing too crazy Lugia deck. And then, of course, we got Reagan Retzlav, of course, playing Baxcalibur Chen Pao. Reagan has been on this deck for quite some time now. I believe since honestly, since Lugia, since it kind of hit the scene, since Worlds, right? I think he's been playing Chen Pao for a while. So really cool to see it doing well. 3 Pokestop, like I said, I was kind of on the I liked 3 Pokestop in the deck. I think it makes sense. I think you go down. I think 3 Candy is fine. I don't think you need to play 4 Candy. You play 3 Candy, 3 Pokestop, and I think that's great. So not too shocked to see Chen Pao doing well here. Really glad, actually. And we got Zane Graham playing, of course, another Lugia deck. This one also playing Mew EX, but no Snorlax here. So no Snorlax, playing only 3 Minccino, the 4-3 Lugia variant. Playing 16 energies, going down, so going 4 Mist, 4 Gift, 4 Jet, 2 V-Guard, 2 Double Turbo. So a little bit more of a meta call when it comes to that. Also playing Eerie in the deck, which I thought was something that was really cool. I think Eerie is just one of those cards where if Eerie is a card that I feel like if it goes in any deck, it's not a dead card. Just having one copy of Eerie in almost any deck would make sense. If I'm playing against a Lugia opponent and they play Eerie, I'm like, yep, Eerie's a good card. Like, it's just a good, solid card. So, kind of makes sense it's in Lugia. I can see why people would put it in there. However, you know, like I said, you can kind of put Eerie in any deck and it would just be good and it makes sense. So, got 2 more Pidgeot controls here. This one pretty much the same place as the first place list. And then, of course, we got another one here, the exact same as well. Playing a little bit of Snorlax block version. This one playing very similar to the first place list. And then we got Future Hands, the deck that I hate the most in this entire format, and I will continue to hate forever. Yep, so nothing too crazy, just playing Heavy Batons and Future Booster Energy Capsules, 4 Jennies, high Lightning Count, and just trying to bench a bunch of stuff, put energies on Iron Hands, and amp things for prizes. We got Snorlax Stall. We got the Quad Stall, Quad Snorlax going on. This deck kind of comes in and out. You know, Azul won, Stockholm with it, and people are still playing it because it is a good deck. But Snorlax, Quad Stall and Quad Snorlax are one of those things where it'll come in, it'll do really well for a while, and then it's got to back off. You know, it comes in, it's a tier 1 deck for a bit, and then about 2 months later, it's got to fall back again because people got to forget about it. People got to forget about the Quad Stall, you know, the Quad Snorlax. So, pretty cool to see Quad Stall making it in the top 8. We got another Lugia here just bubbling out. This one playing 2 Lugia V-Stars, so going 3-2 line. And then we got the 2 Lumineon, 1 Snorlax as well. Nothing too crazy going on besides that in this deck. Techno Radar is something that's going on. You can discard some Archeops with Techno Radar to grab yourself the Iron Bundle for Hyper Blower. But you can't really do anything else with the Iron Bundle in this deck unless we start getting Legacy Energy, which is going to be played in a lot of Lugia decks. Then that'll open up different things like, you know, Iron Bundle to be played, or Lumineon to be able to get Aqua returned, or Ampy very much, or things like that. So, Pidgeot Control, played by Isaiah Bradner. Very similar to actually the exact same list as the first place list, which I thought was pretty cool. Dialga deck going on here. Very similar, if not the exact same 60 as Andrew Hedrick. Got Goldango here in the top 16. Got 12th place Goldango. Playing the 1-1 lineup, Bidoof, Barrel, 1-1 Palkia VMV Star. Very just kind of heavy trainer counts, trying to Pokestop into some things, trying to just draw a bunch of cards. Cypher Maniacs code breaking to put stuff on top so you can coin bonus into it. I think Goldango is in a lot better spot in this current format than it was previously. When Path of the Pig was in the format, if you couldn't worker it away, it was kind of really hard for Goldango to come back. But now, you don't really got to worry about that, so you can kind of put yourself in a position where you are able to, you know, attack with Palkia more often, attack with Radiant Greninja more often, and be able to coin bonus when you need to, which I think is really cool. Another Pidgeot Control, got another Dialga. We got Lost Zone Toolbox here. Once again, kind of like Lost Zone Toolbox with friends, playing the Hoopa and stuff like that to be able to deal with just all kinds of stuff in the format. We got Roaring Moon EX. So we got Baby Moon, Big Moon, no to Dunsparce, however. So pretty cool to see that. Roaring Moon believers and Roaring Moon lovers will always play Roaring Moon. It's kind of like me with Lugia. You know, Lugia lovers are around. People love it. Miraidon lovers, even though Miraidon's not a great deck right now, people will play it. There's a big following for that kind of stuff. So, Pretty cool to see more Roaring Moon doing well, playing heavy Energy Switch, heavy Earthen Vessel, heavy Dark Patch, heavy Satyrs Vitality, heavy Trekking Shoes. Just playing 4 copies of all these cards so you can try to just get all your stuff rolling here. And then, of course, playing the Water Energy so you can Energy Switch and move into Greninja. So then you can try to Moonlight Shuriken at some point during the game, depending on the matchup. Then we got Arc Armor Rouge. I'd watched this deck on stream, and I was like, man, Arc Armor Rouge is cooking right now. Playing the Toadschool and Toadscruel. So cards in your opponent's discard pile cannot be put into their hand by an effect of your opponent's abilities or trainer cards. So, Superior Energy Retrieval doesn't work. So this deck really kind of was like, I don't want to lose the Chien-Pao. I'm going to make it difficult for my opponents. I'm going to make it difficult for control. So I'm going to play this Toadscruel in here. I'm going to play Gouging Fire. I'm going to play Delphox. I'm going to play the big Armor Rouge. And we're just going to punch face as hard as we can. And I'm here for it. So really cool to see Arc Armor Rouge having that kind of big breakthrough moment as well. We got Lost Tina here. Nothing too crazy going on with Lost Tina. Not playing Temple of Sinnoh, which might have hindered this person a little bit just because there was quite a bit of Lugia going on the top tables. Lost Zone Toolbox. Got another Stall. Lost Zone Toolbox. Future Hands. We got Arceus here. This one's a little bit more of an Arcane control deck, playing like Roseanne's Backup, Eerie, you know, Judge and Iono, and then playing like Grabber, De-Evolution, stuff like that. So trying to, you know, play Fluttermane and kind of disrupt your opponent and play this little bit more of a control hand, like heavy hand disruption variant of Arceus. So pretty cool to see that doing well. We got, you know, another Lost Zone Toolbox. This one very similar to the other one we had seen, playing Hoopa and such like that. And then we got Arctina. So another Arctina deck showing up, playing 4 Lost City. Now, I did not know that this person was playing 4 Lost Cities. That's kind of crazy, actually. I mean, I guess if you're worried about, like, if you're in a position where you can try to get rid of Charizards and stuff, then I guess that's pretty good. You're playing 2 Iron Leaves, so I guess you can, you know, Rapid Veneer a couple times a game to deal with Charizard. If you're able to impact something and get rid of, like, an Archeops or a Lugia, it was really cool. Really, you know, hurting the Lost Box decks, really, with this Lost City. Kind of hurting, but also kind of helping. But nonetheless, pretty cool to see Arctina doing well. 4 Lost Cities is crazy. You got Snorlax Pidgeot here. So Snorlax Pidgeot control with the almost quad stall, but not quite. And then, of course, we got the quad stall Snorlax here. Tons of control. And then we're getting into the Charizard deck. So our first Charizard deck is in 28th place. And I will say, I think it's great that Charizard kind of had a little bit more of a falling out for this tournament. But this person playing just the Tordzard variant, playing, you know, the 2-2 line of Pidgeot, the 1-1 Dupa Barrel, playing Hero's Cape in the deck. Like I said, 430 HP Charizard is real hard to pass up. It's really, really good, and it's really hard to deal with. So, pretty cool to see that there. We got Pidgeot Control going on. We got a couple other Charizard decks, very similar. Just kind of the go-to Charizard list we've been seeing. Another Charizard deck here. Playing the Regieleki. Person came all the way from Japan, which is pretty cool to see. That's one thing I like about the Los Angeles regionals is you get all kinds of different people from different countries. You know, Israel, you got Canada, you got Mexico and Australia and stuff, which I think is really cool. We're trying to control Lost Tina. Gardevoir down here. We got a Gardevoir deck. So playing Pokemon League Headquarters, which I think is really cool, especially because you're putting a bunch of energies on your Pokemon anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So putting energy on your Screamtail and your Drifloons and your Fluttermanes, you know, you're already putting a bunch of energies on them anyway, so why not play a Pokemon League Headquarters? It doesn't really hurt you. It's kind of like Chien-Pao, right? Like, Chien-Pao used to play Pokemon League Headquarters at one point because it was just putting a bunch of energies onto their Pokemon, so it didn't matter. It was more there to hurt your opponent, not really to bother you at all. So that was pretty cool. Got Hero's Cape, Luxurious Cape, Bravery Charm going on. 2 Techno Machine Evolution. Got another Charizard deck, Pidgeot, Arctina, Banette, Gardevoir. So going with more of a Banette control type variant with the Everlasting Darkness, so your opponent can't use any items from their hand. And then of course Poltergeist as well to kind of do some big damage for cards in their hand, playing 2 Mew EX and stuff like that. Playing right now like Kazam, you know, the Trekking Shoes and the Nest Ball and the Ultra Ball and stuff like that. Calamitous Wasteland to make it so the retreat cost is a little bit more, so kind of trapping something in the active Everlasting Darkness, trying to do that, which is pretty cool, and leave it up to Henry Brandt as well to play something like that. We got our Dialga deck here. Yep, pretty much the exact same 60 as Andrew Hedrick, except the Metagross. Andrew Hedrick did not play the Metagross. Andrew Hedrick is down in here somewhere, I believe. He's right here. And this is the exact same 60 he had took to Indianapolis. So why not run it back? Absolutely. And finishing in 43rd is nothing to sneeze at. We got another Roaring Moon deck here. Going with that very turbo version again. Playing the energy switch so you can try to attack with Radiant Greninja or Iron Bundle if you need to or anything. Which is really cool as well. So pretty cool to see Roaring Moon showing up again. Got another Future Hands here. Another Charizard Pidgeot playing the Regieleki. A lot of people are playing the Regieleki and Charizard lately. We got another Arceus deck. This one playing just a 1-1 Giratina line, 1 Radzard, 1 Iron Leaf. So kind of like a toolboxy Arceus deck per se. Just kind of playing a little bit less of things, less Giratina and more of something else. So pretty cool to see that. And then we got another Arctina down here. Just kind of the go-to Arctina deck with 2 Lost Cities and the maximum belt and such to be able to deal with that Charizard. Another Chen Pao. This one playing the Kyogre, which is pretty cool. The Dynamic Wave. Put 3 energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand. This does 180 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So that's pretty cool. Opening up a little bench sniping there. And we got our first Ancient Box deck. Once again, I will say it. Ancient Box is not a bad deck. You just gotta dodge Charizard. If you can dodge Charizard, Ancient Box is in a fantastic spot. It's a really good deck. It's pretty consistent. You can do a lot of cool things with the Ancient Box. But like I said, you just gotta dodge that Charizard. You can win. It is possible. My buddy Blake at the Cup we were just at won his winning in to top 4 at the Cup playing Ancient Box against Charizard. It is possible. You just got to work for it, and it's really hard to do, but you can pull it off. It's just difficult. It's very difficult to do, but it is possible. So, pretty cool to see Ancient Box there. Future Hands got Goldango going on. Again, got another Goldango deck. Let's look at that. That's playing the Rev of Room. I like Rev of Room and Goldango with that Rumbling Engine. You must discard energy from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during a turn, you may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand, which is pretty cool. And then just a couple other, random stuff. Another Future Hands down here. Nothing too crazy going on with that. Another Roaring Moon, some more Charizard. Azul playing Pidgeot Control. No Tough. It seems like the Tough variant might be kind of on its way out a little bit. Another Goldango deck. Got a Sprotha Xatu deck. I like this deck a lot. I think this deck is really good. It's very underrated. It takes a lot of good matchups into things. And a good player is going to know how to play this deck. Now, however, a good player is going to know exactly what the Sprotha player is trying to do, so you're going to be able to try to play around it. But a Sprotha just having that disruption, that Dazzling Gaze, as long as Pokemon's in your active spot, attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon, costs 1 more. Sideball doing more damage as time goes on. Then you got the Shuppet as well, where that Everlasting Darkness and the Poltergeist attack. Xatu to be able to, turbo some energies and be able to draw you some cards at the same time. You got the Klefki in here as well for the Mischievous Lock ability. You got the Cleffa, you got the Spirit Tome, and Radiant Alakazam to kind of move damage counters around. Mind Rule is actually a really good attack. This attack does 20 damage for each card in your opponent's hand is really good as well. You got the Hero's Cape in here to make the Big Bird even bigger, which is pretty cool. So, got a Sprotha going on there. Got another Lugia deck. This one kind of seems to be a little bit more standard. Playing Vitality Band, which is a little interesting. One Arven, which is kind of interesting as well, but I could see why playing Arven. You play Arven, find yourself Ultra Ball and Vitality Band, Ultra Ball away 2 chops, attach Vitality Band, and kind of go nuts. It helps the numbers out a little bit more with that. And our Ancient Box deck, now our Dialga, tons of Charizard down here. Playing the Regieleki in this deck here, and it just kind of seems like rinse repeat for the rest of the deck. Nothing too crazy going on. Got another Lost Box deck down here. Playing 2 Lost Vacuum, which I thought was pretty neat. Got another Lugia deck. Let's take a look at that. Playing 2 Lumineon, the 1 Snorlax. No Mew EX. Kind of just going for that cookie cutter Lugia deck. This looks exactly like my list, actually. Except I'm playing 17 Energies. I'm playing 3/3 Lugia V and V-Star. And I'm playing 1 Lumineon, and I'm playing a 3rd boss. But this is exactly what my list looks like, actually. So, pretty cool to see that going on. My energy is a little bit different. I'm playing 4th Double Turbo and just 1 V-Guard energy. But that's because there's not a lot of Lost Tina and stuff in my locals. There's a little bit more Roaring Moon and Charizard stuff. So, trying to go for that Double Turbo and just kind of play the Gift energies and the Mist energies and stuff for that. Going down, we got a Feraligatr deck. What is going on with this? All right, so we got the Feraligatr with that Torrential Halt once during your turn. Torrential Heart. My goodness. Once during a turn, you may put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, during this turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, you're hitting for 280. You're playing the Palkia in here, so you can power it up a little bit easier. You got the Barrel in here for a draw engine. We got EXP share, so you can move some energies around. Get the rare candy, so we can skip the Totodile into the Feraligatr. Don't have to go to the Crocodile. And then, yeah, this is crazy. This deck made day 2, 130th place. Adam Reinhart running it back. That is insane. That is so cool. Playing a Feraligatr deck. That's insane. Everybody's going to be playing this deck, and I'm here for it. I want to pop it in the TCG Live, and I want to play this deck. This deck looks like tons of fun. So that's pretty cool. Got the Feraligatr going on in there. Beating out Charizard EX. Playing Entei V in here, which I think is really cool. Entei's a pretty underrated attacker in Charizard sometimes. Got another Goldango, another Chien-Pao, playing just kind of the Bidoof Barrel stuff going on. Another Snorlax Stall, got the Quad Snorlax, Ancient Box, another Arctina, Charizard, Pidgeot, just kind of the go-to Charizard deck it seems to be. Yeah, just kind of, we got another Roaring Moon down here. Roaring Moon seem to be doing really good. You know, just really kind of popping off. Has tons of Roaring Moon in the day 2. Got another Sprotha deck down here. Just got straight Charizard. Is this just like straight Bibzard? Yep, just straight up Bibzard. No Pidgeot, going for TM Evo, TM Devos, and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool to see different Charizard variants as well. We got Raging Bolt, Sandy Shocks. This deck always seems to make it into day 2. The Raging Bolt, Sandy Shocks believers are real. They are here. So, pretty cool to see Raging Bolt, Sandy Shocks in here. Got the Slitherwing going on. Being able to mill your opponent if you need to win the game or something. That's one thing I like about the Raging Bolt decks is you have different elements. You can take a bunch of prize cards to win, or you can mill your opponent as well, which is pretty cool. Got another Lost Tina. It wasn't tons of Lost Tina, but this one playing Radiant Charizard and 3 Fire Energy, so that's kind of cool. A little bit different of a Lost Tina deck, trying to, you know, play the Radiant Charizard in here, play 3 Fire Energies to be able to put it onto the Radiant Charizard and stuff. And you're able to actually put Fire Energies onto the Giratina if you have to, and be able to Lost Impact with it on there, because it does require 1 colorless, so it does work out pretty well. Got our Charizard deck, got a Ancient Box down here, and our Charizard Ancient Box. Tons of Ancient Box at this regional, so that's pretty cool. Got another Gardevoir deck down here. Nothing too crazy, playing the Luxurious Cape. Maybe Luxurious Cape is the go-to way for Gardevoir now. Got another Arceus deck, playing just the heavy barrel, couple Giratinas and stuff. Just heavy hand disruption with Ionos and Judges and stuff it seems to be. And of course playing Radiant Charizard as well. Tons of Dialga. It kind of makes sense actually now to play Radiant Charizard and I guess a bunch of decks, because you do hit Dialga for weakness. But looks to be very similar to the Andrew Hedrick version, if not the exact same 60. And then we got Roaring Moon to Dunsparce. So this deck is, once again, another Roaring Moon deck, but just playing the Dunsparce Runaway Draw as a draw engine. To be able to shuffle stuff into your deck and draw some cards. Got another Arceus, another Dialga, and then Lost Tina. So let's take a look at the stats here. We got 32 for a 15% share of Charizard. So still the most represented deck, just didn't perform as great. Lost Zone Box, 1 being Lost Box Charizard, which I might have missed that. 23, about 11%. You got Chien-Pao, 21 at about 10%. Dialga, 20 at about 9%. Arceus variants, Arctina, Arceus, and 1 Arc Armarouge at 8%. Snorlax Doll and 1 Snorlax Pidgeot, so 15 for about 7%. Lugia Arceus for about 6.5%. Got Future Hands for another 6.5 or 14 of both of those. Giratina Lost Box at 6. Pidgeot Control at 5. Ancient Box at 5, so 11 of those for both Pidgeot Control and Ancient Box. 7 Gardevoir, and I'm assuming that is not counting the Banette version. So 7 Gardevoir decks for about 3%. You got 6 Roaring Moon. So the 5 Roaring Moon with the Big Moon, the Baby Moon, and then of course 1 playing the Dunsparce package for 3%. 4 Goldango decks at about 2%. 2 Banette Gardevoirs for about 1%. 2 Esprotha for about 1%. And then 2 Raging Bull Sandy Shocks for about 1%. And then 1 Feraligatr at 0.5% of the meta. Feraligatr showing up, making its debut. Alrighty, guys, so that's going to do it for all of the day 2 decks. So let's jump right in to that outro. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments below what deck you guys would have played had you gone to regional Los Angeles. I probably would have ran it back with the same Lugia 60 I've been playing. I kind of have it posted on my Twitter because I did win a cup with that 60, then made top 4 with that 60, and then made top 8 at a challenge with that same 60. I've been playing a lot online and stuff, so it's kind of my go-to deck. That's probably what I've taken to Los Angeles Regional. So let me know what you guys would have taken had you gone to regional Los Angeles. If you guys are enjoying the content I've been making so far here on the channel, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!